Om Shanti, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva. So we were discussing about the devatas. They retire and reappear from those results of the yajnas that is oblated to them. When indeed the occasion for the enjoyment of that nectar arises, then from this, for the enjoyment of this nectar, emerge, become enthusiastic. For it is not seen in the world that enjoyment is available for those who lack enthusiasm, who do not undertake actions and are lazy. Here very specifically mentions about that we said what the devatas are within us, those which are functioning without any attachment, attraction and desires. That is dharmam. The ones who are functioning dharmically, they are known as the devatas. In each one there is a devata. In each one there is an asura. So the devatas who are functioning in us should be that. So when those devatas need enjoyment, here the word enjoyment has been used, it is a very small common word for the people to understand it, that's all. The question of enjoyment in the sense, the right meaning of enjoyment is not coming there. For that the devatas is that the contentment of the devatas, where the ecstasy for them, for the happiness of that. The enjoyment is that when here what happens is that enjoyment is a very common word, and enjoyment can be used for the body, enjoyment can be used for the indriyas, enjoyment of mana, enjoyment of anything is enjoyment here. That is not what we talk about. It's not santosha that is what we are talking about. It is not tripti that we are talking about. It is not samtripti that we are not talking about. It is the contentment we are talking about. It is the Brahman what we are talking about. For devatas it is Brahman. It is contentment. That contentment is that what is contentment is that when what one feels when everything has been received. It's called contentment. Containing everything is contentment. What else? There is nothing other than this, the explanation. When a glass is there, if up to the brim of the glass, if that is filled up, the glass is contented because there is no more space to fill that. Glass is contented with what is inside. Suppose there is 1 inch of area left, there is a discontentment in the glass because that area is filled. There anything else can happen. What is that? The air can get it. Then instead of liquid, the air can there. So it is not the same satisfaction of the liquid that is there when the portion of the air what is containing, it is not the same contentment as the liquid that is there. Where there is no space left. So here the contentment. Here what is the contentment? Contentment, when the contentment takes place in the mana, contentment takes place in the antakarana, contentment takes place in the antaratma, atma. Because when the content, that means when it is filled in up to the brim of the mana, when the mind is functioning and mind is fulfilled with the contentment, fulfilled with everything, there is no more requirement for the mana. So the contentment is another word of contentment, or another way of looking at it. When the mind is full, is contented. The mind is contented. Means what? The mind is full. When the mind is full, what happens? Mind will not function. When the mind is full, mind will not function anymore. Will it function? It functions because it requires contentment. It needs contentment. When the mind is fulfilled, everything that is required, then the mind will not function. When the mind is not functioning, the indriyas are not functioning and the mind is not functioning. When the mind is not functioning, indriyas are not functioning, they are not getting attracted, attached and desirous. Very clear. They are not attached because everything is content. Oh, I don't want that. I got plenty of them. See, contentment. I don't even look at it. You see, there is no desire to that. There is no fascination towards it. There is no attraction towards it. There is no attachment towards it. It's called the contentment of the mind. The enjoy, the yajna bhala means what? Mana is contented. So the indriyas are contented. Atma is contented. Antakarana is contented. That means they stop functioning for the objective experience. Contentment is what? Contentment means not functioning for the purpose of the desirous, attractive attractions external to them. So the contentment is known as the enjoyment of subject. Is called subjective experience. Desirous attraction and attachment is known as the objective experience. Yes. Happiness is an objective experience. Pleasure is an objective experience. See? And that like tripti, samtripti, everything is objective experience. Why? Because the contentment is not there. When the contentment comes, that means when everything is fulfilled, the antaratma, the mana, and everything is content. That it's a status that where there is no further requirement. When that stage of the no further requirement is the happiness, which is known as the happiness, which is known as the enjoyment or the happiness or samtripti of the antaratma. Samtripti of the antaratma. Samtripti. That means with auspiciousness it is fulfilled. Whatever is necessary, it has been fulfilled. Fulfilled in the sense, it is fulfilled. That means there is no more fulfillment required. Just fulfilled that's not enough. That's why I said glass should be filled up to the brim. There is not even if you pour one drop, that one drop will go out. Is it not? That one drop alone will fall down is the principle here also. The same thing happens for the antaratma, same thing happens for the mana, same thing happens for the indriyas. So there is no more requirement of the objective experience. That means whether it is good or bad, there are no virtues, qualification of virtues, sato guna, rajo guna, tamo guna is not there. Whatever guna you pour, that will go out. Whatever aguna you pour, that also will go out. Whatever santosha you pour, that also will go out. Whatever samtripti you pour, that also will go out. At that point of time, the antaratma doesn't require even the God. No. Not necessary, nothing. What is wanting of God is also a necessity of the Atma. Wanting the Paramatma is also a necessity of the Antaratma. That also should not be there at one point of time. A jnani will have no desires, they said. Shunyata, they said. So samtripti is a shunya avastha. Here that is what is mentioned. It's not simple enjoyment. It's not enjoyment of the objective experiences. It is not enjoyment of the result that you are pouring into the yajna kunda, the result out of it, the vibhuti out of it, the bhutam out of it, the vibhuti out of it is enjoyed by the devata, is not there. That's why they said devatas will not drink and eat physically. They get the enjoyment of the yajna that you have done. That means the yajna, the karma yogi of you. Yajna is what? The Vaishwanara, burning of that. Burning of the results. I told you that from the milk to the gridam, that has been converted into that. That means from your initial indication of the function of the karma, executing of the karma in the right manner, making the impact of it, taking the result of it, and that result willingly submitting to the Antaratma is called the Yajna, and then that is enjoyed by the Atma. At one point of time we said in many of the places, Atma is only a witness, he doesn't accept anything given to him. Let me call it as him. Anything that is done by the mana or the indriyas or the antakarana, that whatever it has been done, Atma is a witness. It doesn't have any classification of acceptance or non-acceptance. It doesn't have a classification of good and bad. It doesn't have a classification of winning and losing. It doesn't have a classification of anything. It is only a witness. Why? Because it doesn't participate in the function of the other units. But it is a witness. Without he being a witness, nothing can be done. Because there has to be a witness, then only something can be done. So the mana, indriyas and the antaratma has to be there in order to function them, in order to make them function, to execute their karmas. The witness has to be, an impartial witness has to be there. That witness is the one who is the Atma. This Atma is the one which we receive when we are being born and or when we are dying. It is not a part of Sharira, it is not part of Mana. It is external to all this. It is not established inside you. There is no control over that by this. That's why nobody has got a control on the Atma. They got a control on, we all talk about control the mind, mold the mind, think this, that. Lot of words are used. There is no word used for control of Atma. Is there any? Is there any technique? Like so many techniques are there. Healing techniques are there. So many mental control, Silva. I'm not supposed to tell the names. So many mind control. Yes. How will you control the mind? So long the mind is there, so long the desire is there, so long the attraction and attachment is there. No, orientation is also an inducive method of making the mind fictitiously imagine and function. See, we say think positive. Now, if you start thinking positive, it is an induced action done to the mind. You should be positive. That's what I would say. It's not that thinking positive. Thinking positive is an action done by you. When an action done by you, there is a reaction also to that. When there is an action, there has to be an equivalent reaction has to take place. That's a principle. So when you do an action, there has to be a reaction. So when you say think positive, when you think positive, you can also think negative. The reaction will be there. There is a possibility. That is why the stability of mind is not there for the human being. Sometimes like this, sometimes like this. Yes, that is why Ramana Maharshi beautifully said. Yes. Ramana Maharshi beautifully said that whether you think good, whether you think bad, whether you think right and you think wrong, whether you think of God or whether you think of a demon, everything is your ahankara. Everything is your ahankara, is it? Why? Because when you are really positive, not thinking positive, when you are really positive, when you are really God, when you are really Brahma Sakshatkari, you will not know that you are doing things. You are a Brahman yourself. Yes. When I walk on the road, when the sand is stuck to my foot, then only I will say that the sand stuck to my foot. Because sand has got grains. When there is something which is not sticking to it, even though I am walking on that, I will not identify it as sticking to this. It is separate. So what happens? The Ramana Maharshi said that everything is ahankara. Many people think that ahankara is only boasting themselves is ahankara. It's not that. Ahokara is not, doesn't mean. The Sanskrit ahankara means that the consciousness of the aham. This consciousness of the aham automatically is necessary for a human being, for a body, for a one who has got the body, mind and consciousness and the indriyas in them. The aham there is nothing but, the aham that we call as nothing but is the consciousness that we have got in our mind to make me function. Whatever I am doing is called that aham. That consciousness who is telling me to do this, don't do that is called the aham. That aham has to be there and it will be there. But he says, if I say I am the here the consciousness which is interlinked with the Atma, who has got the Jnanam. This consciousness is the one instrument deriving the information from the witness, who is Nishpakshavadi. Nirakaratum, Nirantaram, Nirgunam. Yes. This is the status of the Atma. So why the God and the Atma or Paramatma and all are described as Nirguna, Nirahankara, Nirakara, all that. There are so many like that. Neither Akara is there, nor Guna is there, nor Rupa is there. Nothing is there. If nothing is there, then what is it? Is a question of many people. There is a big question on that. Many people do not understand that. Why? Because we are functioning with Sakara, everything with the Sakara and Saguna. With all those things, we are working. We are not working with the Nirgunatvam. We are not working with the Nirakaratam. So, Saguna Bhakti, Sakara Bhakti, not Nirakara Bhakti, Nirguna Bhakti. Everything for the purpose. There is a particular cause, but there is a purpose. So, Atma is identified with that any of these things are not involved, in the sense that it is a pure knowledge. Atma is what? It's a pure knowledge, absolute knowledge. In an absolute knowledge, there is no differentiation of ignorance and knowledge. No. For the Atma, ignorance is also a knowledge. Must remember this. Ignorance is knowledge, because only knowledge can understand there is ignorance. Ignorance cannot understand there is knowledge. No. You understood? Ignorance cannot understand there is knowledge. Knowledge only can understand there is ignorance. So if there has to be an ignorance identified by the witness, Atma, Atma should know what is ignorance. Knowing about anything is knowledge. Knowing about ignorance is also knowledge. Knowing about the wrong, what we call it as wrong thing, is also knowledge. How do we say that is wrong? How do we say? It's a mistake, it is wrong. How do we say that? We have a knowledge of it, that jnanam of it. So, when I have a jnanam of it, whereas the mind doesn't have that jnanam. Mind has got ignorance as separate, jnanam as separate. Whereas the antaratma has got the Nirahankara, Nirupa, Nirguna, Nirmamatvam there. There is no mine. Nirmamatvam is there. It's not mine. When it is mine, I am possessing it. There cannot be a mamatvam. That's why it is mamata. That is why it is known as, for mother, it is mamata. That mamatvam is there. When the mamatvam is there, then only the attraction and attachment comes. Then only the feelings will come. Then only the emotions will come. Then only certain things can be transmitted. For the mind and the indriyas, certain things which are to be transmitted has to have this mamata. This is a prakriti. Then only an attraction will come. If mamata is not there, attraction will not be there. But mamata is an ahankara. Mamata is an ahankara. But when it is utilized for the purpose of the better way, that mamata, even though it is known as the mamata, mamatvam, it is, that ahankara will not cause any negative attitudes in the antaratma. The witness will be okay. Because that is why the ahankara is there. That's why the ego center is there in us. We call it as ego center. That's called the ahankara. That ahankara which is known as the antakarana. That I am the one who is enjoyer. I am the enjoyer, not you, in the sense, who is it telling? He is telling to the mana, indriyas and sharira, you are not the enjoyer, I am the enjoyer. This is the antakarana saying. So this ahankara is there. So ahankara is the one who is enjoyer. Ahankara must be there. Ahankara has to be there, then only karma yogi can execute a karma. Who tells you to do the karma? This ahankara tells you to do the karma. Who tells you this karma is the one which has to be executed and exhausted? This ahankara. Who gets purified while doing meditation? This ahankara. Who gets promoted? This ahankara. Who gets nullified at the end of it? Who gets vanished? Who gets the renunciation, status of renunciation? This ahankara gets the renunciation. So when the ahankara gets the renunciation, then he goes into the sannyasa. Renunciation of the ahankara in the sense what? The ahankara will not have any more instructions to pass on to the mana and indriyas to execute a karma. He is known as the karma mukti. When you have a karma mukti, the ahankara in you is gone. Then nishpacha bhava and nirankara bhava, nirakara bhava, nirukta bhava, nirbhaya bhava, everything will come. That bhava is known as the witness, is called the Atma. So here what he says is that when the yajna from the yajna kunda, the results of the yajna that is done is enjoyed by the devatas, in the sense what? The enjoyment is, this is the enjoyment. What, you got it? You got that enjoyment? The enjoyment is not that they are fulfilling the hunger, they are fulfilling the thirst, or they are getting and deriving a benefit out of it. There is no derivation of benefit out of it. There is only part of a renunciation taking place. It's a renunciation. Even though it is an acceptance, it's a renunciation. As a renunciation takes place, where the renunciation takes place? In the karma yoga, in the karma yogi of the self, there are 5 parts they have divided. So the karma yogi of the self, when the karma is executed, the dhyana yogi of the self gets the enjoyment, and that enjoyment is transmitted to the sannyasa yoga in you, who is known as the devata. He, even though he is a witness, having renounced it, he gets the samtrupti, is called the trupti, samtrupti, having renounced. It's called the yajna. So he says here, that's why this word has been used, that for the one who, for it is not seen in the world that enjoyment is available for those who lack enthusiasm, who do not undertake action and are lazy. The one who are not doing an action, who are lazy, they will not have the enjoyment available for those. When the one who doesn't have the enthusiasm, one who doesn't have an action, one who is lazy, they will never get the enjoyment of it. In the sense that the one who, the enthusiasm is what? To be enthusiastic of some achievement. That enthusiasm has to be there. I have to be that. I have to be what? Next question. I have to be better than this. Okay. One will start with that. I have to have more wealth. When you have more wealth, then you will say that then you have enthusiasm of, I must have more peace. After wealth, there is no peace. Then you have to have peace. Then he says, I want to have peace, more enthusiasm. When he has got peace, then he says, I must have jnanam, more enthusiasm. When he has got jnanam, he says that I want to renounce everything, another enthusiasm. Then he becomes a sannyasi. Then he has a sannyasa that I want to be a Brahma Sakshatkari. Then that is renounced, he becomes a Brahma Sakshatkari and he becomes a Brahman, Brahma. Once he becomes a Brahma Sakshatkari, his enthusiasm is lost. Because there is no more enthusiasm required, is one way of doing it. Without reaching that in the bottom stage itself, when the enthusiasm is lost, he will not be able to enjoy all these. Executing the karma, exhausting them, going to the wealth, going to the jnanam, going to the renunciation, going to the Brahman. All these experiences will not happen. When it doesn't happen, he remains in the ignorant state. Here what happens? He loses enthusiasm after knowing everything. He is the karma yogi, dharma yogi. The one who doesn't do anything, he doesn't have any enthusiasm because he is totally in the dark ignorance. So both are not same. Knowing everything and renouncing after knowing everything, one should be able to renounce. Why? Because after knowing only, one can really renounce. The word renunciation or samarpanam can be done only by a jnani. An ignorant person cannot do samarpanam. For him that is giving or taking, not samarpanam. Samarpanam is different. Samarpana is that knowingly, understandingly that it is no more for me, it is not necessary for me. I have absolutely in any corner of my mind, my antakarna, my this one, there is no reservation of giving it, is called the samarpanam. Not that I like it, but even though I like it, let me give it, is not samarpanam, it is giving. Giving some money to the beggars, putting money in the hundi box of the mandir with reluctance. I have seen people counting and looking for change, then pick and choose and then put it in. What is that? It's not samarpanam. If he is really wanting to give, he should just a small action I tell you. Just put in the pocket whatever comes in your hand, you put it without looking at it. If you look at it, you are calculative, Oh, today 2 rupees is enough for God. The other change I will keep because I need for something else. Honestly speaking, is it not? That's what we have done it. I have done it also. It's not that I have not done. When I was ignorant, I have done it. Yes. But is it not ignorance? It's absolutely. Is it samarpana? No, not at all. It is as if you are giving to a beggar. That's all. That is not samarpana. You understood the difference between samarpana and bhav. The jnani will not do it. Jnani is that what? Whatever I have, take it. That is why there are stories in Puranas. Old Puranas, there are lots of, even small Puranas, that Amar Chitra Gata and all that. Also, even if you read, you will find lot of, they are all Upanishadic stories. You will find that when a Brahman was sitting for eating, Bhagavan Shiv came in disguise and asked for the food. He had nothing else other than this. Immediately he, being a great noble man, Dharmi, he got up and then invited Bhagavan and said, please sit, have your food. I do not want to eat it. And he drank water, he is happy and he has given it. Not with a desire, but to the principle, dharma is that the one who has come at that point of time has to be given first, then only you can eat it, is the dharma. Having known it, not that, this fellow has come at this time. Now, how to do it, what can I do? No, he didn't. This is the time he has to give. So you ask him to wait, let me at least finish eating, then you can call him inside. No, he didn't say that. As soon as he heard, he said, please have it. Knowingly, having known that, having given this, is that Samarpanam. That's a Samarpanam. Samarpanam can be done only by the real jnani. So, a true sannyasi, a true yogi, a true upasak, a true nididhyasak, and a true bhakt has to have the quality of samarpana bhava. And for the samarpana bhava, with true samarpana only one can attain things. Why? Because by executing karmas, we are attaining the karma phala, and this karma phala has to do this samarpana. We have to do the samarpanam of that. We have to do our samarpanam of everything. Even the jnanam that we are receiving at one point of time, all the jnanam has to be doing the samarpanam, they say. It's not that jnanam, how to do the samarpana of the jnanam. Vivek Chudamani, it says at the 300 shloka of 320, when you go at the later part of Vivek Chudamani, this Shankaracharya has very specifically written, even the jnanam that you have acquired, once you attain the Parabrahman, the jnanam that you have acquired also has to be surrendered. In the sense, absolute jnani, when he comes to know this is the jnanam, this is the truth, there is no more. It's not that he has learned everything. Not that he has learned everything. When there is no more, this I have told earlier also. When there is nothing more to know, is called the completeness of the jnana. Not that having known everything, no. When there is nothing more to know, which is known as the fulfillment of the jnanam, at that point of time, for him, the jnanam has no value. Is it not? When I have got everything, I don't have that value of that. When the jnanam is completed, the value of jnanam or knowing, the inquisitiveness for knowing anything or want for that is no more there. So when that is no more there, being a complete jnani, when he gets the Parabrahma Sakshatkaram, his jnanam is converted into the Parabrahman Sakshatkaram, which is absolute jnana, which is known as absolute jnana. There knowing doesn't take place because there is no knower. There is no knowledge, there is no knower, there is no knowee, there is no knowing that is taking place. Why? Because they become one. When there is a knower and when it is knowing and when there is no knowing is happening, then only it is known as the knowledge. There has to be a karta, there has to be a bhokta. Yes. There has to be a vakta, there has to be a shrota. Then only these things can happen. When these things are not existing, this will not happen. It's why fulfillment of jnanam, when it is fulfillment, they only can do the samarpanam. So, in order to have the samarpanam, jnanam is absolutely necessary. Jnani only really can do samarpanam. The other one is only out of fear. Either, oh, God will punish today's Akshaya Tritiya, let me put one coin. Otherwise, suppose I don't get more money. Let me put one coin to the God also. Today is my birthday. Hey Bhagwan, till next birthday, let me be very happy. Don't starve me. Put one coin and do some puja, birthday puja. Is it samarpanam? This is not jnanam also. We don't have to do all that. They're all out of what? Out of fear, out of want, out of need, out of necessity, whatever you call it, whatever word you can put in. But it's all out of fear. Fear of survival. Ahankara, they are all. What I am trying to tell you is that ahankara. Why? Because you are considering your survival as aham, or your sharira's survival as aham, or your purpose of living as aham. Is it not? For such and such. For what? I must be happy. So what your aham is that the happiness that you are considering to what? To your mind and to your sharira is called the aham for you. If you are happy, then you say, I am happy. That aham. So aham has been degraded to that. Even though the aham is a consciousness to advise you to execute right karma dharmically, and then the results which are there, not enjoying the results but exhausting them. Exhausting in the sense when you do not enjoy the result of it, it is getting exhausted. That means I do not derive a benefit out of it. When I don't derive a benefit out of it, like we give charity, I also have told this number of times in our class. We give charity to many institutions. Some people don't even tell their names, just say that a well-wisher giving. Who has sent it, who has no uses. It's a right thing. The one who wants that a marble to be put in, engraving his name on that, and they will put one swastik on this with the what is that? Sindoor and chandan and all that. Then put a mala on the one who is inaugurated by so and so, and he himself will inaugurate his own name plate, and then put a mala. Now you see the fun of it. Now what is a charity? Donated by donated by so and so. Just give it, I say. Why do you want to say that? Who knows that? Oh, donated by Ramakrishna. Who is this Ramakrishna? I don't know. There are thousands of Ramakrishna. He has to return. He has to write that. Then he has to also call his friends and show that you please, when you go to the temple, you see given one bell. That's of no use to anybody. Bell hanging on top, nobody can ring also. In that it is written donated by. For what? When that rope snaps, fell on that somebody and died. That only can help. It can help only for that. Ramakrishna given to donated to the temple. I am not, even though jokingly said, is it not exactly this is what happens, you see. Everywhere they want to put that donated by so and so. Or, so that is not why it is happening actually. He considers that he gets a prize out of it. He has a satisfaction. That satisfaction happens only to the mind. Happiness is not there. Satisfaction is there. Satisfaction is momentary. Happiness is permanent. So the happiness is the nature of the Atma, and satisfaction and tripti is the nature of the mana and the antakarna. So the consciousness is only advising. That is the one who is an aham in us. That aham in us has to be known. The aham is that consciousness, which doesn't have a shape and form. It's nirakara. It's nirakara and nirguna, nirahankara. There is no aham in that, you see. It doesn't individualize things, you see. That's it. What is the jnanam? Jnanam is all-pervasive. And that nirakaratva means that all-pervasiveness. Nirakar, many people think that how we can pray to nirakaratva. Why we call it as nirakara to the God. A person who is, what the meaning of nirakara means, akara is what? Akara means a shape and form. In the Shastras, and when you go deeper into the language, nirakara means that limitless. Nirakaratvam means limitlessness. When akaratvam is limited. That's all. This is how it has to be looked at. Akara means limited. Nirakara means limitlessness. So Ishvara is Ishvara's thoughts, Ishvara's jnanam, Ishvara darshanam, Ishvara rupam is not limited to certain things, X, Y, Z. It is limitless. But when I call it as akaram, akara, vichara, vikara, when we call all those things, it is limited to certain things. When the limitation is removed, the nirakaratva. Nirahankaram. The aham is not there, it's nirahankara. Nirgunam, there are no virtues, which is known as Turiya Avastha. Turiya Avastha is what? There is no Tamo, Rajo and Sato Guna. Even Sato Guna is an ahankar. If I say that, oh, I have done those so many good things for the people, It's an ahankara. It is true, he has done. And he will get the benefit of it, no doubt about it. But when he says that, it's an ahankara. Ahankara is a ajnanam, durgunam, then ajnanam. He's stuck there. No? The moment he says, I have done better things, he has stuck. Now no more progress. Because he has done good things, finished. Is ahankara. Pitying, self-pity is an ahankara. I cannot do anything. You see, what can I do? I am no one. You see, in front of you, I am a small man. No. Some people are, we call it as, oh, what a fellow. Even though he is very knowledgeable man, he says, I am nothing, I am no one. So in general, in a samuham, they call it as, Vinayam. He's a great man, Vinayam. You know what is that? Inwardly, he is an ahankari. It's a big ahankari he is. You know why? He wants that the others should say that he has got Vinayam, he is a knowledgeable man. That's why he is Vinayam. He has got Vinayam. Vinayam is an ahankara. You know that? Everything that qualifies your sharira, your mana, or connected with the any vikara, vichara, or anything connected with the praise, with anything connected with the achievement, any connected with the result, when you address it in that manner, they are all ahankara only. Don't think that is not ahankara. Oh, no, please. I am nobody, I am a beggar in front of you. आप हमारे माँ बाप थे, हम कैसे तुम्हारे माँ बाप होंगे? See, these are all, it's an ahankara, it is the ahankara projected in different ways, that's all, nothing other than that. A tapasvi doesn't say, I am a tapasvi, I am a jnani, I got so much of this. He doesn't say. He also doesn't say that I don't have anything, I am sitting under the tree. People are seeing you are sitting under the tree, then I don't have to qualify that I am sitting under the tree. Is it not? You see, I am sitting under the tree. You see, I don't have anything. See, I am a tapasvi. See, I am not eating. Everything is ahankara. There is an intention of closeness there. There is no progress there. He has considered himself as complete there. He will not go progress into the Brahmajnanam, Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Sakshatkaram. He will not go. Why? Because he has closed it. He has closed. This is what is required. That's the end of it. Then why? And more, the intake will not be there. Input will not be there anymore. The true Jnanam. That's why they say that Jnanam is unlimited. Jnanam is unlimited. You keep on knowing, still there are things to know. Keep on knowing. You will complete Jnanam. If you start learning the combination of metals, how to make a vigraha, combination of the electronic equipments, how to make a satellite, and how to make this, there is no end. That is education. For a particular trade to do certain things is necessary. That is education. It's okay. How to make a camera, how to make a printer, how to making a printing machine, how to make a print ink, or how to make a satellite, how to send it to orbit, man with man and without man, and this, that, whatever it is. They are all education for the facility of function of the karmas. That's another section. That's not coming into the way of the Brahmajnanam. That's not that. It's not necessary. Brahmajnani should go into the detail of knowing the technology of the satellite making. Why? Because why? So that means he is incomplete by Jnana? No, not right. I have told that complete Jnanam is necessary, then only he reaches there. See. Now what happens is that for a jnani, for a tapasvi, for a jnani, what happens? He attains through the nirahankaratvam, not through the knowledge and intelligence. He goes beyond the limitations and he understands the limitations first of all of the mind, indriyas and the sharira. He understands the limitations. After understanding limitations, he goes beyond the limitations. After understanding limitations, he knows I am limited. I do not want to be here. Only the education is necessary for those who are limited. Why? Because he has to execute a karma. Only for a karma yogi, this limited knowledge is necessary. Limited knowledge is necessary. Education is necessary. For a tapasvi, for Ramana Maharshi, which university he has got? Yogananda Paramahansa, Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Narada, Durvasa. Which university, which education is necessary? Education is necessary for the purpose of execution of certain karmas according to the karma yogi's necessity. I had to study a particular subject because my karma was connected with the execution of those things. So in order to train that, to execute it in the right manner, I had to undergo that education, and based on that education, I could execute my karmas, fulfill my requirement of karmas and exhausted them, and that is no more necessary. So education is meant for that. It's made cameras now. A man who has invented camera, how he made it, and today how the camera is made, absolutely different, isn't it? Each time, each generation, depending upon necessity at that point of time, it changes. Tomorrow it will be totally different. Is it not? Totally different. We won't know. So that means they are all changeable. Parivartanam is there in that. That which is not nityam, they are all anityam. Those which are anityam is not the truth. They are changeable. Why they are changeable? They are changeable only because that depending upon necessity, this changeable can be utilized and thrown it out. That which is changeable. That whatever is changeable is not, that whatever is not permanent, that whatever is not nityam, that is not jnanam. That is not jnanam. Jnanam is that nityam, that is not changeable. The Upanishad, from the day it has been, through the Shruti it has been written, till now, it has not changed. Only the way I am explaining is different than the other man explaining, that's all. Because depending upon era and time, samaya kala anusaranam, this has to be changed. See, what today's language, what I am speaking, will absolutely be obsolete after 10 years. You have to use a different methodology or explanation. Then only they will be able to understand. 20 years before, probably this was not the way it was executed. There, you had to quote the Puranas through the Bhakti Bhava issue. Ram has done this. So Upanishad was explained through Rama, Krishna and the gods and things like that. So from the Kala Desha Anusaranam, the explanation can be different, but the truth of the Upanishad, the gist of the Upanishad, or the substance of the Upanishad, or the meaning of Upanishad has never changed and will never change. Vedic science will never change. The same shloka has not changed. The same shloka you read 20,000 years ago also will be the same shloka. Today you are reading the same shloka. The meaning of that is also same. Only that interpretation of that, depending upon each and every individual. My interpretation is different because our group of people who are understanding things are different. So I am addressing a group who will understand me. So that's why you are comfortable, that's why I am comfortable. It is not necessary it has to be like this, whatever I am saying. For another person, his explanation is totally different. I have heard so many people talking Upanishad in the television, because I used to listen to some Swamiji's. It's different. But when you take the meaning of it, gist of it, everything is same. There is no difference at all. Jnanam is same. Jnanam is that which is not changeable. Jnanam is same. So that which is not changeable is the Jnanam. That which is not changeable is got unlimited. The unlimited will never change. The limited will always change. Is it not? Because I can create limitations, small, big, tall, small, fat, everything. So limitations can be changed. Why? Because limitations are created from unlimited. When there is an unlimited, then only the limitations can be created. So what we have done, Jivatmas have created limitations too from the unlimited. That which is there in the external, in the unlimited, has been incorporated. Try to incorporate it in the limited and try to function in the limited. From this limited, doesn't matter, it's okay. But from this limited, one should go, knowing the limited, one should go to the unlimited. It's called Nirakaratvam. Akaram is that. That's why I say that. In order to understand, I used to say this number of times again, in order to understand the Nirakaratam, you have to become Nirakara, then you can see the Nirakaratam. When you are Nirakara, you can see the Nirakaratam. When you have got an Akara, you can see only Akaratam. You cannot see Nirakaratam. By being in limitations, you cannot see or experience unlimited. In order to experience the unlimited, you have to become unlimited. Then only you can experience it. Because limited cannot experience unlimited, whereas unlimited can experience the limited. Because from unlimited only the limited has come. So in order to do that, you have to go from here. In order to go from here, what happens? You have to go from the limited. The limitations, from the limitations, you have to deshackle yourself from the limitations. What is the limitation? Aham is the limitation. Sharira, Mana, Indriyas is the limitation. It's not that renouncing, throw away, you commit suicide, hang yourself so that you get Niragaratam. No. It's not that. No. That's not what is said. Should not misunderstand that way. No. It's not renouncing like that. Renunciation is that. As I told you, renunciation through jnana. Renunciation is the meaning. Renunciation means samarpanam. Samarpanam can be done only by a jnani. Because he knows how to do samarpanam. Adi Shankaracharya. I very liked this one, which I think I must have repeated more than 50 times the same sentence, because I liked it very much. Adi Shankara went to the temple, prayed, then asked, what did he pray? Hey Bhagwan, pardon me, Chama. Why? Because he has established so many temples, so many places. Adi Shankara in the initial stages, because of that is the time when the necessity of the temples were necessary. Why? Because to identify the areas and people who are going away from the knowledge of the true Upanishadic and Vedic knowledge, we have to bring them back. For that purpose, he has established number of temples all over the country. Many borders you will see, Badrinath, Kedarnath, everything is established by him. So he has created that establishment, and then after establishing that, he went and prayed to the Lord, hey Bhagwan, Chama. Why, I have thought or I have done such a thing that such an unlimited, Virad, that which is all pervasive, how I created a small rupa, a statue or a vigraha, and then contained the unlimited into a limited and make people pray to that. For that, Chama. This is what he prayed. Why? Because there is no other way. Because an Akari can only see the Akaram. For him, it's not the right thing that he has done. So he asked Chama for that. Hey Bhagwan, Chama Apanam. I imagined that in Niragaratam, in the Akaratam here, I contained in the small Shivling, the huge, that Shiva principle into a small Shivling. Is what Bhagavan said. So this is what, because he understood, he has experienced that unlimitedness, even though he appears to be limited. This appearance of limitation has been taken by him, formed by him only for the persons who are limited can experience him, can see him. Otherwise, Adi Shankara, we will not represent him, we will not call him as Adi Shankara. We will not know whether there was an Adi Shankara if the limitation was not there. So he born into a limited one. The unlimited one has born into a limited, even though it's a limited, even though the Akara, the one who can see the Akara, only could see the Akara, but in that Akara is that Nirakaratva was established. Like in this statue, that is what exactly he says. Like in the statue of the temple, like in the Vigraha of the temple, Nirakaratva is visualized by us. Should be visualized by us, not the Akara. That's what I always say. Don't enjoy the ornaments of the Bhagavan. What is, normally many of the women and even men, they go, oh, what a jewelry he is wearing, Bhagavan. If I can have one of that, is good enough. Shining, beautiful. So that, Abhushanam, it is all for external attraction, that's all, nothing other than that. We have to see the Nirakaratvam in that, no? You have to experience the Nirakaratvam. It's a representation. An Akara is necessary for one who has an Akara to experience Nirakaratvam in the Akaratvam. Then only you will experience that Nirakaratvam. When you start experiencing the Nirakaratvam, it is easier for you to renounce the Akaratvam. When the Akara is renounced, the Ahankara is automatically renounced. When the limitation is renounced, the Ahankara is renounced, the unlimited automatically comes. Is called the happiness, which is permanent. The pleasure or the enjoyment is temporary, which is changeable. I don't have the same enjoyment of experiencing one karma on the next day, of executing the same karma next day. I don't have the same enjoyment of it on the next day. There is a difference. It is not the same. When it is not same, it is different. It is temporary, which is not permanent. Anityam. That which is anityam is not the truth. That's all. Simple. That which is not the anityam, that which is not the nityam is not the truth. The truth has to be nityam. Exactly same has to be there. That's called the truth. So in the Brahma Sakshatkaram, what happens? Everything is absolutely in that state, where there is no change. It's the same status. There, that is why when the Jnani need not have, I said Jnani need not have education. Why? Because after attainment of the Parabrahman, even though he has not undergone the study of education, what we call it as educating. Educating means what? Educating means training. That's all. That's what educating. Education means training. That's all. He doesn't have to undergo a training for doing a particular trade. Training is meant for a trade. He doesn't do a trade. He goes into the ultimate knowledge. Yes, Brahman. When I understand the total Brahman, then this education, this practice is not necessary. Why? Because in the unlimited, limited is possible. For a Brahma Sakshatkari, probably without going into the process of this great assembly of the what is that? Satellite, and sending the satellite to some other in the orbit, and from the orbit, why we are sending them recently, why I am talking about satellite was, I just read in the paper on news yesterday, that we have successfully launched a satellite launch. That's why I am just telling you the example. The satellite is meant for what? It goes into the orbit. Then even though there are clouds, even though there are obstacles, the communication will not get interrupted. Now today, like Tata Sky goes off when it rains. Through this satellite, if it is connected, it will not go. Why? Because it has the capacity to penetrate through the clouds and things like that. And then the information technology through that, and then also it can also identify the weather conditions. And then for the farmers, it is very beneficial. So the weather conditions can be exactly identified through the satellite. These are the benefits they were telling today in the television news, what I heard. This is for this purpose. So many scientists, and they have worked very hard, successfully launched. They are all happy. Very great achievement. I have no denial to that. This educative function of the karma has been done. Okay. Now, this is for a limited person. The one who is a jnani, the one who has understood the Brahma Sakshakaram, the one who is absolute jnani, he doesn't require a satellite. He will sit here and close his eyes. He will say that there will be rain on 15th. Communication, okay, what is happening in there? Where Banu goes in Chennai, that near the corner of that Marina Beach. Okay, somebody is selling peanuts. He can see that from here. He can see it from here, then why he needs satellite? You understood my point? What is jnanam? What is education? This is the difference. So that is why a jnani need not to undergo, he need not to go anywhere else. Ramana Maharshi, as I told you, he has not gone into any school. He ran away at the age of 8 or 9, taking the money and went into meditation. And when he came back, he's a great saint, he knows everything. He knows everything. Where is the knowledge? Because he surrendered the knowledge, so he knows everything. Unlimited, he goes into the ITC. He has known everything. Whatever he spoke has become the truth. Whatever he spoke, it has become the Upanishad. Whatever he spoke, it has become the Veda. Absolute jnanam, where there is no individual, there is no aham in that. When he speaks, it is not meant for his own personal benefit of it. He doesn't derive any benefit of it. He speaks only for the purpose of the jnana. It's not for the purpose of you also. Not for the purpose of disciple also. It is that he is speaking the truth because he is the truth. That's all. Whether you understood or not, whether you have taken it or not, accepted it or not, rejected it or not, none of his business. He is a jnani, where there is no attachment. No, what I teach you should learn. No, he doesn't have that. Learn it if you want to learn it, learn it if you don't want to learn it. But I will speak the truth. I will speak the Brahmajnanam. I will continue speaking the Brahmajnanam. If you want to take it, in whichever way you want to take it, you can take it. Is his whatever? Why? Because he doesn't have that ahankara in him, but whereas he has got the truth in him, whereas he has got the Brahma Sakshakaram in him, he is a jnana, embodiment of the jnanam itself. An embodiment of the jnanam, absolute jnanam will reveal only jnanam, nothing other than that. See? So that is what he is doing, Ramana Maharshi, or any other Maharshi for that matter. Is why they don't have to go to school to do education, training. It is not necessary. Why? Because the purpose they can do. Why we have to do all this in order to attain certain things, whereas they can attain everything by not doing any of these things. So their karma is not necessary. It's the difference. That is why they don't have to go for education. That somebody is asking why. Oh, he is, according to our language, he is an illiterate. पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है. पढ़ना लिखना is necessary only to know those things. If I have known that, this is not necessary. Same way, if I know everything, absolute jnanam, none of those below is necessary. He is called the Brahma Sakshakaram. So he is the one who is the enjoyer. Who is the real enjoyer? The others are all only in between getting some temporary satisfaction. Drink a glass of water, for some time the thirst is not there. Afterwards again you have to drink a glass of water to quench the thirst. When you don't have to drink water at all, is the stage what we have to reach, in the sense. Because the requirement increases here. We should reach a stage where requirement is not at all there. The need is not at all there. The need is there, necessity only when, in order to execute a karma. So here, when he says that the person who doesn't have enthusiasm who does not undertake an action, not reaction, who has to take an action. So a very specific case. Executing a karma and exhausting them is an action, but enjoying the result of the karma is reaction. Most of the people, why most 100% people who are not the noble men, they are all living only in reactions, not in actions. Probably in their account, there may be 5 or 10 actions they have done. All 99 or 90, when you look at 90%, will be function as reaction. When you function in reaction, I told this earlier also, when you function in reaction, you are not achieving anything. You are not doing anything. You are not exhausting your karma. You are not executing your karma also. When you are doing things based on reaction, you are not doing a karma, you are doing a waste of time, and you are accruing unwanted karma phalas. That's all. You are not exhausting them. Why? Because you are based on the reactions, not on actions. Action is that you do it and forget about it is an action. When you do something based on the reaction is called reaction. Karma on reaction. Karma on reaction has got no marks for renunciation. There you cannot exhaust them. Why? Because it's not based on the action. Based on the action that what you do, the result of the action only can be renounced. Why? Because the reaction is based on the action of someone else. How can you renounce the result of it? It's not your profit. Is it not? You got it? Am I right? You deposit somebody's money in the bank. Will the interest come to you? The interest will go to him only, because he put the money in his account. Am I right? You got this? In the same way, if I do karma based on the reaction, because X has told this, my God, even though I am supposed to go here, let me go here. Why? Because X has told. Just a simple example I am telling you. So what happens? You are functioning on the reaction and you do not derive any benefit of it. Not only that, by not executing your karma, by not executing your action, not karma, and that is a sin. When you are not executing your action, that is one sin. By executing some other action which is not supposed to be done by you is a second sin. So by doing that, what has happened is that not only that you have not derived the result out of it, not only that you have lost the time and not achieved the results, but you have also earned 2 negative points. That means 2 sins. Let me call it that way. You also earned that. You may be satisfied with that. But what happened? You earned the sin only. Why? Because you did a reaction. You did the action based on the reaction. So the action based on the reaction is nothing but re-reaction. It cannot be an action. Even though we call it an action, it is re-reaction. A ball bounces twice, loses its intensity and speed the second time. The first time when you throw a ball to the wall and when it comes back, the speed, the intensity, the direction is faster than the repeat of that, again going back and coming, and which doesn't have that much of impact. So first of all, a reaction has come and you are doing a re-reaction, the intensity is low and you have acquired everything is wrong. You also acquired a sin. So we are functioning on the reactions, Upanishad and the Jnanam. That is why the Guru explains the truth to the disciple. When the Guru explains the truth to the disciple is absolutely necessary to absorb the truth. Execute your karma based on the truth. The Jnanam is provided from the Upanishad by the Guru to you, because it is imparted to you. It is not taught, it is not spoken, it is imparted to you. When the imparting is done, for imparting I have explained what is called imparting earlier, so I am not repeating that. When that imparting is done, when that absorption, it is not understanding the jnanam, it is absorbing the jnanam. As I told you, the foam absorbs the water. Same way, if the jnanam is totally absorbed in you, each and every cell of you should be functioning based on that function. And when you start executing your karmas based on that jnanam that has been provided, this is not an action or a reaction. What I am speaking, you are listening, may appear it as an action and reaction. By speaking and you are listening is not an action and reaction as far as the Shastras and Vidya is concerned, Jnanam is concerned. Jnanam is imparted, that's why it is never told, it is taught. No, it is spoken, it is this one. That's why it is known as Sat Sangha. Sangam. See, it is one. It is not told or listened. It is Sat Sangam. That's all. So Upanishad Sat Sangam. So that means when I am speaking, I am also listening. You are also listening. Everyone absorbs that. That's why I said our Shanti Part also says in the beginning. What is that? The Shanti Part where we all listen to Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Deva Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatra. What is that? Let every one of us listen together, you see. That is why that Shanti Part has been told. So based on that Shanti Part, we absorb this jnanam for the purpose of knowing, as a brahmachari, for the purpose of knowing the execution of karma, dharmically execute them should be done by a jnani, is called an action. And when that action is taken and done with the jnanam, normally we do not enjoy the result of the karma, and then that get exhausted and we gradually fulfill our requirement of the jnanam one after another. When it is exhausted, see, a jnanam utilized for executing it dharmically will multiply jnanam. The jnana multiplies, you see. Why? Because you knew it, you heard it, you understood it, you knew it, you absorbed it, then you practiced it. So what happened after practicing? You have established that it is the truth. After experiencing only, it has become the truth, it becomes the knowledge. So after practicing, after executing it, you have established it. Having established, there is no doubt that that's the truth. Now you will not come back to know that again. It is not necessary. Exhausting the karma. There is no more enjoyment of the result on that. When you don't do it, then only knowing it again is required. When you have done it, no more necessity of. So with that, if you do execute a karma action, that action will automatically get exhausted. Why? Because that enjoyment of the reaction doesn't take place by you. Why? Because you have accepted it and executed it. We are doing things only what we accept mentally, right? Even though they say that, oh, it's a mistake, I have done unknowingly, all false. Everything is done unknowingly. Everything is done knowingly. Absent-mindedly somebody must have done it, but knowingly he has done it. There is difference. Absent-mindedly they might have done it. Yes, that's true. Because your concentration was not there. You mean that? No, your concentration was not there, but not something else. Not that you do not know. If I do without a concentration, this mistake can happen. It's known to you, but still you do it. So everything is known. So we cannot escape it. Is what? The truth. Whether we like it or not. That's the truth. So this establishing, so the enjoyment here. Why I am saying all these things? We should have an absolute clear concept that when we do the yajna or when we do the samarpana, when we understand the jnanam, when we execute a karma and exhaust them, and that result will go to the not aham, That's why they say that the Yajna Kunda, whatever Yajna we do, the result of that will go to the Devatas. The Devatas are those who will do guna for you. That means when you do execute a renunciation, in yesterday I have explained this. When you do a renunciation, the Devatas attain when the Devatas are allowed to attain the karma phala of it, they are the witnesses. They are not the enjoyers, they are only witnessing. They do not taste it, they said. So they are only witnessing. What is that witnessing? That renunciation has taken place. When the renunciation has taken place, that happiness of the witness, that having renounced this, that execution of the karma has been reduced to that extent, is the Devata understanding it. And the moment that satisfaction of the Devata comes, more and more of gunas, virtues, will be inducted into the mana and the indriyas, so that it has got more and more momentum to execute further good karmas in order to exhaust them. That's why they said, when the yajna is done, Indra will give you rain, so that you can do more crops. You can gain more annam. That annam again you are taken, again you do the yajna, again Indra will get it, Indra will rain. You see. Now what happens? Same thing is happening inside us actually, it's not external. When you do exhausting of the karma, the Devatas are receiving it. More and more of facility for creating the exhausting of karma is created in you, and the Devata further improves and grows. Ultimately, only Devata remains, karma is exhausted. When all the karmas are exhausted, when is it? Only Devata remains. When Devata remains, you become a Sakshatkara. This is how this process goes on. So the Yajnam, so such a person who understands this, such a person, the next sloka, Bhagavan says, this is the 363. That is 4. 6, such. Okay, I think it is 363. Sa ya ete devam amrutam veda vasunamevaigo bhutvaagninaiva mukhe naitadevamrutam drishtva tripyadi sa eta devarupam abhisamvisham tetam asmadrupādudeti Saya eta devamamrutam veda. He, sa eta deva amrutam. That he who knows the amrita, the nectar. Amritatum, nectar is what? Not a liquid to drink. Amritatum is a status. Eta devam amrutam. Deva is amrita. Devas have got amrita. That's why they say Devas have taken Amritattvam so they don't die. Who dies? The one who is born. Who dies? The one who is limited. The unlimited, how it can die? The one who is limited only will die. The one who is born only will die. Who is born? Karma Yogi is born. Devata is not born. Why? Because there are no karmas to do for the Devata. So, etat devam amrutam. The one who is an amrutam, the one who has attained the amrutattvam is the Deva. Who doesn't function based on the gunas. Who doesn't function for the basis of benefit. Who doesn't function for the adharmam. Who functions only for the dharmam. Where there are no desires, attachment and attraction. Desire, attachment and attraction we have elaborately discussed in previous Upanishads and also many times. So I am not going for that. It's not the small thing that, the desire of this. Devata has got its own desire. Devata's desire is that you should do the yajna. That's also a desire. In us also, the Devata is wanting to have the knowledge. It's a desire of the Devata, but that is not connected with the external objective experience. They are subjective experience. That's the difference. They don't have to look for objectively. When it is objectively done, then only an indiscrimination is done. When it is subjectively done, there is a discriminatory process taken place. When a discriminatory process taking place, then the differentiation is not there. When it is external only, the difference, oh, this is good, this is bad. When objective experience. Whereas in subjective experience, this is good. Is why Jnanam is a subjective experience. I have told you the Upanishad sloka, Sate Devam Amridam. That is the truth. That's called the subjective experience. Only through the subjective experience that Jnanam can be absorbed. That's called contemplation. Contemplation is done by, even though done by the external mind. As I told you, contemplation is what? Contemplating the subject and establishing that it is true is called contemplation. Contemplation is not that discussing and trying to discuss it inside you and negate it. No, it's not true. No. The contemplation is meant for that. That's contemplate. That to listen to the Shastras and establish that is the truth. You can say differentiation of, that's called discussion. Discuss in the mind, and you can say this is wrong and this is right only for objective experience which is known by the limited mind. But the Jnanam is unlimited. The limited mind cannot understand. When I say Amrtatvam, the mind doesn't understand Amrtatvam. Amrtatvam has to be understood by the Atma. So you cannot discuss it with the mind. You cannot have that. That's why it is contemplation. So the contemplate that Amrtatvam means not the liquid to drink. Amrtatvam is a status of that being where, having not entangled into the limited body, limited mind, limited indriyas, deshackling myself from those desires of being in the limited desires and limited enjoyment and limited body, limited this, I grow without that, where we have no limitations. When I understand that, that's called the Amrtatvam. Then I am not born as a Sharira, I am not born as a mind, I am not dead as a mind and Sharira, I am never born, never dead, but I am existing. That's called existence. We also said that there is existence. Every Atma has got is in existence. There is in existence. But Sharira is born and dead. Mind, born and dead. Every second the mind is born and dead. Now the mind is different. Next time the mind is different. The mind dies crores of times in a lifetime. Now it is born, now it is dead. Now it is born, now it is dead. Why? Because our thoughts are so different. It is number of times we die. Number of times we die. We die number of times. Balya is dead. Yavana is dead. Vardhakya is dead. Everything is one after another is dead. It's all death only. My thought is, when I am changing my opinion, very politely we said changing opinion. What is that? My previous mind is dead. I have created a new born, another mind is born. It's called the death. What is the death? Death is that. Death is that which is temporary, being eliminated is called death. That which is not permanent, eliminating that is called death. That which is not necessary, eliminating that is called death. These are all the meanings. What is necessary, which is no more necessary. When the Vardhakya has happened, when the Vanaprastha has taken place, Sannyasa has taken place, this Sharira is no more necessary, is the death of Sharira. It's not my death. I don't die, I am not born. The aham is never born, never died. We all know it, but still everyone is scared of the death. The scare of death, why? Because I have an ahankara. My ahankara is attachment to my body and mind. Is me. That's why I'm scared of death. Otherwise, why there should be a fear of death? Fear of death is only because my ahankara. Fear is also an ahankara. In other words, it's an ahankara. Because I have misunderstood me as such, then only I have a fear. And everybody knows only truth that is known is that when one is born, one has to die. The truth is known also. Having known the truth, we are scared. That means what? That ignorance. That is the, I understand my body and this one. When I attend somebody's funeral, we praise him, we tell him everything at that point of time. We don't think that we will also die. But when in the smashana, we call it as smashana vairagyam. It's temporary, no? It's a word called smashana vairagyam. When we are in smashana, we become conscious, I too have to die one day. Even though I have got a beautiful car with air conditioning and all that, but one day I too will have to travel in that glass box. What is it? Truck behind the trailer. Hers. It's hers, not his. So I have to travel in that, that without shock absorber one, so no jerks, lot of jerks, no air condition. Smashana vairagyam. That's called that comes only temporarily. The moment that is over, finishes over, and came back, had a cup of coffee. Poor fellow died. I don't die. Poor fellow died. That's all. Smashana vairagyam is over. That's why it is known as smashana vairagyam. Once you come back home, you have pity for him, not pity. You have to pity yourself. One day you will also die. Smashana vairagyam. Death is why. The fear of death is only because of ignorance. Nothing other than that. Once the karma is executed and finished, which way it has to go, it has to go. So, I had a colleague of mine who was working with me. We worked together for long years, even though we were in different offices, different sites. He retired and he was offered for extension for one more year or something. He did not accept. He is from Bangalore actually. His son is also there. He went with his wife, gone back. In about 3 or 4 months' time, they were having a morning walk. Healthy man, absolutely healthy. Retirement means 60 years, that's all. 5-6 months, that's all. Lived in his own house, is there in Mysore or Bangalore. They have a morning walk normally, wife and husband both together. He was walking, midway collapsed, finished, dead, over. There's no see, once the karma is finished, there's no information and it has to go, that's all. Then there is no place, there is no time, there is no situation, there is no conditions, there is no whether it is rainy season. Nothing. The moment it is like a clock. From here it moved to the next second, finished, tuck, over. That's all. It's okay. We should know that. We don't have to expect it every time and get scared of it. But we should know it and we should establish it and we should contemplate it and I know it. So once that is accepted, then the fear is not there. Why I said that? Eva devam, eta devam amrutam. The amrututvam. We can attain the amrututvam only when we overcome the status of the mritatvam. That's all. Overcome the status of the limitation, go into the unlimited. No one can do anything. That's all. That Evadeva, Amrutatvam, that nectar. He who knows this nectar, the Amrutatvam, is the truth. You can have the status of Amrutatvam even being in the body. Maharshi, a tapasvi jnani who lives 500 years, 1000 years. There are rishis who are living more than 500, 6,000 years and all that. They can extend the existence of Sharira. Why? Because the requirement of Sharira, as far as they are concerned, it is only for the purpose of certain things, not for the purpose of enjoyment of the Sharira. It can be an instrument utilized for them. So they can have it. Because they are not wanting the Sharira in practice. They don't give it importance. They live for too long. They can live. But being in the Sharira, he can have the status of Amrutatvam. Like Adi Shankara said, being in the Sharira can have the status of the Brahma Sakshatkara. That is why the noble men are living. For others, when they look at them, they are only like us, a Sharira, and has got also a little bit of diseases and problems. Everything will be there. Like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Ramana Maharshi could not walk. He is not bothered. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, not bothered. Look at them, each and every one, you look at them. It's a Sharira that they have acquired in order to have the experience, but they are Amrutatva. They are in the status of Amrutatva. Those noble men, even though being in the Sharira, they are not that. So, that's for the purpose of the people, upliftment of the other Jivatmas, that they are there. So when you look at them, you may feel that it is so that they can have. Adi Shankara said, being in the Sharira, you can have a Brahma Sakshatkari. You don't know. By looking at his face or by looking at his Sharira, you cannot make out he is a Brahma Sakshatkari. Because we don't have that eyes to see. Not that he is not that. I should be able to see, then only we will know it. Because I cannot see doesn't mean he is not that. हमको तो दिखाई नहीं देता है तो क्या करेंगे भाई? तुमको नहीं दिखाई देता तो मत देखो. You don't know. That doesn't mean that he is not that. हमें नहीं दिखाई देता इसका मतलब यही सच है, ऐसा कोई बात नहीं क्या? So Vasunam, so the one who has understood that this is the nectar, the Amrutatvam, he knows the Amrutatvam, becomes one among the Vasus. When the Devatas have understood this, enjoyed this, they have, even though their oblation is done to the Vasus, they become one among the Vasus and themselves, and then becomes contented by seeing this very nectar through the fire itself, which is the chief. He retires into this very appearance. He rises up from this appearance naturally. When he is contented with this, that means Drishtva tripyati evata devam rupam abhisamvishamteta. This rupa has vanished in the Agni, where when we are doing that Mukhai Naita Devamrutam Drishtva tripyadita eda devam rupam abhisamvishatye tasmat rupad. This rupa of limitations of mind has been put into the Agni of the oblation, Vaishwanara of the oblation, and I have renounced it. The moment I renounced it, I appeared as my true form, as the Devata. So I merged with those Vasus themselves. This is what happens. When I experience my renunciation, this is why renunciation is very important for the Samarpanam. When the renunciation is done, I am doing the renunciation in the Agni, means Vaishwanaram of me in the Agni. I rise up from that, reappear from that, appear from that. So disappearance of my Ahankara me, limited me, and appearance of unlimited me takes place from the same Agni, and I become the Vasus. Is that what this sloka means? Rest of it next we'll take later. We'll be taking the next sloka as 3, 6, 4.